Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Saturday. It is the 11th of February, 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Aqueduct, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. I'm gonna look at the third and ninth race. Both these races could have Triple Crown implications. Definitely the Withers will, but the third race, Jimmy Winkfield, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe some of these horses end up in some next Derby prep races, possibly the Derby, but you never know. But let's get to the third and ninth race. Great card today from Aqueduct. The third race, it is the Jimmy Winkfield Stakes. It's going for a $100,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 5 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground is 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the Aqueduct main track. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 5 horse Clubhouse. Let's go 5143 in the superfecta. 5143 Super, top selection of 5 horse Clubhouse, this 3-year-old colt by Spicetown. Top Pletcher trains. John Velasquez coming in from California to ride this horse. Even when John Velasquez was riding in in South Florida, he wouldn't really come up to New York very often in the winter, so he must really think highly of this horse. They did buy this horse at Keeneland September 2021 for $425,000, so he's a bit of an expensive horse for this group. Most recently, they ran the horse on the 14th of January here at Aqueduct. Good but Harold main track, 7 furlongs in the main special weight, and he won by 6.5 lengths that day, and he basically stalked on the front end a little bit wide. When he quickened up a lot. He got the job done, geared down lane. I thought it was a very good maiden victory. Took him 6 starts to break the maiden, but it was still a very good race. Coming here, going back to 6 furlongs, has a lot of speed. I think he could really run a good race, and I think he could win. Before that, he ran on the slop on the 16th of December here at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs in the main special weight. He finished 5th by 13.5 lengths that day, and he had a very wide trip, and I just don't think he was handling the slop kickback. It wasn't the day to win. He just completely hit the wall. And then prior to that, on the 19th of November here at Aqueduct, 6.5 in the main special weight. First start on dirt, cutting back and trip. He finished 3rd by length. He stalked. He had the lead, just a little bit too wide where he couldn't keep up late, but he still ran his heart out there. And then prior to that at Aqueduct on the 16th of October, mile 16th, good turf course in main special weight. He finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths. He set the pace. He got caught late, but again, he didn't go down without a fight. I thought he showed potential. He's training well on the training track at Belmont. I'm going to use him here at 5-2. If there's a second likeliest winner, the 1 horse Joey Freshwater, wouldn't surprise me if he steals on the front end. Most recently on New Year's Day in Optional 50, he won by a length, and on the front end all throughout at 85 cents a dollar. I thought that was a very good victory. And then prior to that, claiming 50,000 at Churchill on the slop, going 6.5. He won by 5. Again, a little bit wide poster, but he still took off clear. Coming here, I'm going to use him in the pick 4 because he is definitely loaded here. There is also, I believe, a mid-card pick 4 that begins with this race, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to use them both there, you definitely can. But to recount my selection for the third from Aqueduct, it is the Jimmy Winkfield. Let's take the 5 horse Clubhouse. Give kudos to the 1 horse Joey Freshwater. 5143 Super. Let's go 5-1 in your multi-race. Over to race number 9 now from Aqueduct, the 9th event. It is the Withers Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a $250,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds here. Field of 7 horses taking a stroll around the Aqueduct main track, which is 1,800 meters in circumference, or a mile and 1/8 on the Aqueduct main track. I'm going to take the 3 horse Jungfrau as a top selection. Let's go 3-4-1-6 in the superfecta. 3-4-1-6 super. Top selection of 3 horse Jungfrau. This 3-year-old colt by Arrogate. Belmont trains. Dylan Davis gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 31st of December at Gulfstream. Mile 16th in main special weight, 70,000. And he finished 2nd by a nose that day. He had a very wide posture. He was wide throughout. He had the lead at the top lane. The winner came out on him with Irad that day. He fought a good race to the wire, but he just missed it late. They did place him first due to disqualification, which I thought was the right call because it was a small margin victory. I thought he showed potential that day. Coming here back to Aqueduct around a mile and 1/8 where he could sit closer. I think he has the stamina to win here in early February going a mile and 1/8. Who would have thought last year that this race would have proved this race would have gave us a Triple Crown race winner We all remember early voting win this race in the middle of January on a basically almost a dead rail, and went on to win the Preakness back in May very, very nicely. It was one of my favorite performances of 2022. But I thought it was cool for finally New York winning a Triple Crown race again. Two back, the horse ran here the 20th of November at Aqueduct, mile and eighth in the main special weight. First started around 2 turns, first off the bench. He finished fourth by 5 1/4 lengths that day, and he just was a little bit wide. He needed something more late. I do think he needed the race first start back since September. 3rd of September was his previous race, 7 furlongs at the spot in the main special weight. He finished fourth by 3 1/2 lengths that day. He sat back early, stupidly wide, but he was gaining. I thought he showed potential. He's training well, pacing, coming up north here today. He definitely should get the mile in the eighth, second off the bench. I'm going to use him. The 4-horse Hit Show is your second likeliest winner. 3-year colt by Candy Ride. Brad Cox trains. Manny Franco gets the mount. Most recently, 17th of December at Oakville on a mile and an optional 100 claimer. He won by 3 1/2 lengths that day, and he sat back early, and he moved a lot late. Quickened up nicely. 82 buyer. I thought that was a good, gritty performance. Prior to that, in late November at Churchill, mile 16th and optional 100, he finished fourth by 7 1/4 lengths that day, and he just didn't have the best trips early on. He moved a little bit late, but, early on he has to be, a little bit clearer. And then prior to that, 9th of October on debut at Keeneland, 7 furlongs in the main special weight, winning by 5 1/4 lengths that day. Not the best of trips early on. He had to be taken back a little bit, but he really moved a lot late to get the job done splitting horses. Great ride by Florent that day. Coming here, training well at Oaklawn, and 9-5, a definite use in your multi-race. He could definitely win here in this wide open Withers. But to recap my selection for the ninth from Aqueduct, it is the grade 3 Withers. Let's take the 3-horse Jungfrau. Give kudos to the 4-horse Hit Show. 3-4-1-6 Super. 3-4 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.